How you going, mate? You're early. 3 minutes,
I'm always early.
mate. So
Always.
am I. So am I. I was just seeing a video message to Plappy. He sent me some pictures of him riding around in Andorra, and it's beautiful weather, and it's pissing
Yeah.
in Perth, and yeah, he's just showing off, mate. But
Nah,
yes. Anyway, thanks for coming on, man,
no stress, mate.
and nice to meet you too.
Yeah. Nice to meet you too. I've never seen your face.
Well, geez, say you read the newspaper, mate. It's on the front page.
Mate, in WA, nobody gets on the
Nah,
front page unless you're football.
mate, not even Jai. He barely got the inside of the TV guide. No, but
Really?
nah, there was a lot of fanfare for him here. A lot of the clubs and cycling bodies like lobbied quite a bit. So hopefully, when he comes back to Perth, we're gonna do a big like parade welcoming him back. So,
Yep.
yeah, that should be pretty cool. Maybe just I don't know, like he can step off the plane and we can just launch him into a criterium just on the tarmac. Welcome
Yeah, if
back.
he's going to get paid, I'm sure he will be happy with that.
Yeah, bloody hell.
There's no way I'll be like doing that for free. Start the plane from Europe. No,
No
I'll be like, no,
way.
no, no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah, yeah.
no way.
It's last time I met Jai, well, because he's obviously from WA, but I met him on a ride once and he come back from Europe and he brought one of his friends who rides for Jumbo. Maybe his name is Hugo, but he was from the Netherlands, this guy, and his dad happened to live in Marawa, like which is like 10 k's from where Jai lived, and he just thought, yeah, I'll come back with Jai. But I forget what his name is. It's when he was on DSM,
Hugo.
Hugo or Lenny or something like that. But
I
anyway,
don't think he was in Jumbo. He must have been in DSM with him.
yeah, DSM
Hugo
with him, Hofstetter.
Hofstadter?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Hofstadter.
that was him. Yeah, and
Yeah.
they just
I
rocked
was
up.
thinking, I know that Hugo. There's only two. Hugo Cool,
Cool, yeah,
Canadian, I
Canadian
think.
dude, yeah. And
And
Hofstetter, I'm
I
pretty
was
sure that's what it
thinking
was.
Hofstadter.
But it was
It's
when
got to be
Jai
him.
he was on DSM then. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah,
Mate,
but
what a
it's
team.
cool. It's cool. Yeah, it's cool he came back. But yeah, what room are you in there? What's with the glasses?
Kitchen
Oh, very nice. Got a couple of martini glasses
and
up
all of
there.
our
Wow.
alcohol.
Okay.
So I used to just spread it across the whole bench. I thought, probably wasting a whole lot of space. Could just push it in the corner now.
Yeah. Well, it looks more
So
condensed. That's
it's
good.
also when the door's open for the kitchen that I'm not looking at it.
Yes.
So because it blocks it.
Yeah. Gets out of the way.
Yeah,
Do
I'm
you
not thinking, oh, I'd love a bloody alcoholic drink right now.
Do you
Yeah,
ever
it'd be good.
do you ever have one in a grand tour, like a beer or anything during a grand tour?
Uh, certain days, but I wouldn't, it's not like religious or anything if it's just on a recovery day or the night before rest day.
Not like
If
Valverde.
they're like, oh, no, 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 not like him. And yeah, I'm not sure how he, I'm not exactly sure how he's still as good as he is at his age.
Yeah,
Um,
Aston Martin.
uh,
Well, mate, it's those nice, just the cool refreshments after each stage, Bella.
yeah, and you just get better with age, don't you? You just get better and better.
Well, maybe you should be drinking wine, perhaps. Don't know.
Yeah, I do, but I don't drink enough, obviously, or enough
Yeah,
beer.
yeah, but you would feel it though. I'd imagine, like if you even just had a champagne after like a stage win or something. Sure, you'd be
Oh yeah,
because it's
oh
everything,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Oh mate, your body just sucks it in so
Mm.
straight away. Even after the Giro in 2020, I didn't want any beer, but they're like, oh, here, have a beer. Well, it'd be rude if I didn't.
Yeah.
And eventually, I just kept drinking, but the first couple were rough, real rough. I'm like, oh, this isn't going down so well.
What do you actually feel like the most at the end of a grand tour? Like, is there any food or anything you like? Oh, I just feel like that, or do you just sick of eating?
Um, just anything that's shit,
Mm.
any shit food,
Pizza.
anything. like if you just slapped a couple of Big Macs in front of me, 20 nuggets, I'd be like, done.
Yeah, that's I feel you.
Like just even like just a pack of 50 nuggets, just have at it until I can't eat anymore.
Straight into it.
I'd anything that's like, oh, do you want rice or pasta? And you know
Get
what?
out. Yeah, really.
Shove it.
Yeah.
Shove it. I'm not here for that anymore. I don't care. I don't.
I was just in Kalgoorlie. We were doing this race called the Kalgoorlie Cycle Classic last weekend, and I'm not a big chips man, but we'd finished the second stage, and we were in this tiny town called Leonora, like a gold mining town. There's nothing there, and there was food trucks with these chips, and it looked rough as guts coming out of the food truck, but it was just what you wanted, right? Yeah, the dirtier the better. I said, please, lady, just can you rub them on the floor for a second? Just dirty them. They look a bit too clean.
Yeah, double, triple deep fry. I don't care. Make them extra crispy.
10-year-old
extra
oil.
Crispy.
Yes.
I don't care. Extra flavor.
Yeah,
no problems.
So thanks for cleaning out your kids too, getting them out of the way. Are they usually around?
Yeah, one's at school.
Oh, at school. So have you got 2 kids?
Yeah, so one's 3.5 and one's 1.5 now.
Is it both boys?
No, youngest is a girl, and she just went down 5 minutes ago for her nap. So I was like, perfect
timing. Great,
mate. Perfect timing. Yeah, easy. Don't have to worry about the screaming. Team had to deal with that when I was on the phone to them after my ride. They can deal with it.
Well, it's for the press room, the high priority.
High priority. Sorry, guys.
When you had your first, what's your son's name?
Oliver.
So when you had Oliver, that's my boss's name. When you had Oliver, and did it change the way you approached your cycling, the way you trained, the way you raced?
Yes and no. There was a big difference in sleep initially, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Until I cracked, and I'm like, we got to do something about this. So obviously you'd be waking up a little bit earlier or later. It was a little bit less routined. Then I figured out that there was a little bit of a hack to it, that I was getting home, and obviously my wife was a bit tired from looking after all his crap, that he was just either screaming or being shitty or whatever, or he's being happy, but you know what, I'm just sick of having to hold him. And just be like, here you go, take him. I'm like, I just got home from training, Jesus. So I figured something out. I'm like, if I can time my training so that I get home just after he goes down for his nap, whether it's his first or second nap, I at least get 30 to 45 minutes of nothing as soon as I walk in the door.
That's
at least. So I got home, silent. I'm like, oh, how good's this? And then I could decompress a little bit.
Yeah.
And then deal with it once I've had something to eat, showered and whatnot. Didn't have it thrown in my face, which didn't happen every time, but some days I was just like, and it was always the days you didn't want to have to do anything because you're stuffed, that your wife was like, I just need some help. And I'm like, had to be today, didn't it?
Yeah, so, the biggest ride.
I worked out that that's the best little bit of a hack. Come home just as they're going down for their nap.
That's perfect. That's when you need the I don't know, like the Bluetooth thing that you can see, the video.
Oh, I do.
Oh, you've got that, the technology. You can just sort of do another lap, not quite down yet. Another couple of
laps. The problem is that up at our place, there's not a whole lot of phone reception. So you have to do it about 5-10 minutes from home anyway, if you were checking.
Okay.
Yeah. Or, probably shouldn't. I'll just wing it and normally it goes down now. So I'll get home, I'll work out 4 hours before or whatever, and walk in the door and be like,
hey.
see you 30.
Yeah. What about your racing though? Like I've heard stories of a few other guys and girls say that when they had when they first had kids, though, sort of more some of the older guys, but they weren't so keen on, sending it on a corner or through a bunch kick, things like that. Has that changed at all?
Slightly. I've been more of a cautious sort of rider anyway in the past. I quite like my skin. I generally will happily waste a little bit more energy to keep it all and be in a less of a stressful or dangerous situation. So, and that's essentially my job anyway now, is to sit in the wind for somebody else. So, changed a little bit. Obviously, there's some days where I could push. I'm like, you know what? What's the point? I'm not here to win anyway. So, yeah, I'll just back out of this. So, yeah, there is that whole, there is more to life than just this stupid bike race. Yeah. But I already thought that before I had kids.
Yeah, of course. Like you said though, your new, well, not your new role, but like I guess the role that you'll mainly fill with Jumbo, kind of replacing Tony Martin, sort of, not replacing, but you're just doing that. But I guess because you're spending more time at the front, and you might, I guess I noticed thinking about it now, a lot of the riders that perform that role where you're trying to keep your teammates out of the wind for quite a long periods of time, you're at the front. So like you're kind of out of the dangerous part, right? Yep. Yeah.
Unless you are Tony and you decide to be on the front and crash.
Oh, that girl with the side, man. I'd forgotten about that. Yeah.
Oh, I just thought of it, just came into my head then. I'm like, you can still crash on the front, which I have done before as well. Into a corner, wiped out. It wasn't going hard, just Glasgow. Commonwealth Games.
Commonwealth Games. That was wet, wasn't
it? Yeah, it was bucketing. And we're in this little Geraint Thomas one.
Oh, okay, I was thinking of Ocean. Yeah, go on.
So I was on the front, and I went, it was through this little mall, and then you come off the tiles, which were tiles.
Nice.
Perfect. And then you turn back onto tiles, right? But there was a little lip, and I'd hit it. I think it was on the 3rd or 4th lap. And I'd hit it every time exactly the same, but this time, obviously, my wheel hit it just on the wrong angle, and I went down like an absolute sack.
You take anyone with you?
No. It was just me, and I just nailed my elbow on the ground, and I don't know what I did, but it was sore for a good month still after. Probably a bit of bone bruising or something, but wasn't broken, but I was in a bit of pain for a while.
Elbows are need, man. They suck.
Yeah. When you just, and because I wasn't going fast, I was like, what's the point? Worse. I'm on the front. So I just went whack.
Yeah, it's always a slow one.
Down you go. Congrats, Rohan. You are the village idiot of this race.
Welcome to the games. Well, welcome to Commonwealth.
I was like, perfect.
Have you won a Commonwealth Games? Have you won medals there? Have you been to many?
Yeah, silver in that one in the TT.
Oh, cool. Okay. And are you going
I went to Delhi. Technically not allowed to say, but okay. I'm gonna guess that if I wasn't there, that some questions would be asked.
Yes, unconfirmed at where that race is. Yes.
What's that race? Yep, that one. Yeah, I think I'm going.
Yes, the race, the same with the one that has a jersey the color of yellow. Now, speaking of yellow jerseys, Jumbo-Visma, I wanted to know, has it been what you expected when you announced that you're changing from Ineos? So is it what you thought it would be? What your expectations were going into it?
exactly what I thought. I do talk to, well, obviously do talk to the guys in the team now, but before I was at the team, there's a couple of guys I would speak to regularly at races, and just sort of always ask questions, and they don't give you everything. Obviously, nobody gives you anything in the pro peloton, but you always ask the little questions of how things are run at certain teams, and just keep your ear and eyes open. And they weren't lying. It's quite structured, and everything is really, really, I don't want to sound negative, but full gas. When you're in the tour squad, it's all very, and it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's very, and it's not military, because that's not the right word either.
Precise?
But it's precise. Okay. Everything's
deliberate,
calculated, deliberate. It's they don't leave any stone unturned. So it's exactly what I expected, and thankfully it was exactly what other people said as well.
Yeah, because I imagine maybe in previous teams, I'm sure it happens where teams maybe overpromise, or maybe things change from initial conversations to when you're in the team, right? And
100%.
Yeah. So I just thought it looks like that from a viewer, from my perspective, looking at Jumbo. They do look like everything's just dialed. Maybe a couple of years ago it was still getting there. They had a few I just looked that way. They weren't quite everything dialed, but certainly the last 18 months, it seems like everything's fully switched on, which must be cool from, your perspective, because that means a lot for the things like time trialing and that sort of stuff.
Right. Everything is tested. Everything.
Give me something that's tested that you wouldn't usually expect.
No, it's not what other people's teams also test this, but not to the extent. So they're testing all wheels, other frames, helmets, skin suits of other teams, our skin suits, trying to fix our skin suits, gloves, tires, everything is tested over and over, and see what's the best shape, pressure, materials, everything. Different road surfaces we use, different tire pressure. There's a lot of stuff that they test that's, I think, not overdone, but close.
Yeah.
Close to.
You'd still rather it's better. Close is better than being not enough. But
it's on the line of being obsessive, which is what is actually needed to be at the top. It's a fine line, and they're really, really on that border of pushing everything and finding out, okay, our stuff is good, but their stuff's better in that situation. So we need to make both of them, bring both of them together and try to fix that. And there's a lot of stuff going on, but it takes time, obviously. Not all of our equipment is the absolute best, but I think as a team, we've got the best setup across the board for climbing, TT, and flat stages or races. So
that's interesting. You tend to hear about gains really from the aerodynamics perspective, sometimes a little bit with the weight and stuff, but overall as a package, including flat stages, that's another that's something I haven't heard before. But what about this? Of all the, obviously when you move teams, you get different equipment, like we just said. What's one bit of anything, one bit of kit since you've moved to Jumbo across all your teams that you've been on? What's one bit of kit that you like the most?
The S5.
The bike. Oh yeah.
The Cervelo S5.
I've got on Zwift, so I know how you feel. But the bike, mate.
It's not the lightest
Yeah.
bike in the world. It's still, I think in Romandy we got it down to low 7 kilo for the TT, uphill TT, which is, look, it's not made to be a climbing bike, but when it's fast, it's fast.
Okay.
I've never been consistently in the front group of crosswind stages, or felt comfortable to get, not comfortable, but felt good to be one of the first or the first person into a crosswind section in a big race like Paris-Nice. I wouldn't say it was easy to do, but yeah, that happened this year. It's happening every time I sort of got in trouble in any slight crosswind in Catalonia, of all places, Catalonia. I could actually fix the issue quite quickly, and I didn't feel like I was on a tractor trying to get back to the front group or fix the positioning problem that I had. I'm like, okay, cool, step out, go.
Wow. Is it its ability to hold speed or like acceleration? Is that what you're noticing?
Both. Obviously, I think if you're a climber, the punch isn't there anyway. But I think to get speed and hold it I haven't felt anything like that before on a road bike. On a TT bike, I have.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of teams, even specialized, have sort of gone away from the Venge.
Yeah.
And they've just got the tarmac now, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
The aero climbing bike. And I'm thinking, why not have that and a super aero bike?
Yeah.
For the flats. And like Pinarello was the same, BMC similar. They have an all-round bike. A lot of teams don't have one or the other, and the R5 isn't a slow bike, but it's made for climbing.
Yeah.
And the S5 is just straight up speed. So
it's the coolest looking bike too. It is the coolest.
Oh, it's bloody nice.
Yeah,
really nice.
Wow.
So yeah, look, I hope no other teams while I'm racing and on a Cervelo bring out an aero bike. It's not easy just to make a new bike either. So I'm towards the end of my career. Let's hope that no one's thinking, yeah, well, that's a pretty good idea. But yeah.
Jumbo is the only team with Cervelo, isn't it? They don't do any other teams.
No, we're the only team. They were with DSM it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So they were DSM before, and and before that was Garmin. No, they were with
Cervelo test team.
Dimension Data. Data.
Yeah.
Garmin and Cervelo test team. Had to think about that. I was like, there's been a few, but yeah.
I've written down Cervelo test team because I'm doing a pod with Dan Lloyd soon, and I emailed him and I said, mate, we can only talk about Cervelo test team for 5 minutes. I'm sorry, because I know obviously he'd want to speak about it for a long time. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I wonder if like there'd be deals where Jumbo would say you can't take your brand anywhere else, but I guess Cervelo is probably bigger than the team, so I don't know.
They'd have a contract. Yeah, I'm sure they have some sort of clause where, but I'm sure that Cervelo don't want to go somewhere else.
No, of course not. Why would you?
I'd hope not. Otherwise, we're obviously doing something wrong.
Here you go. You get what was that stinking bike from Aqua Blue?
Yankee? No, sorry, 3T.
Oh, yuck.
Was it 3T?
Oh, it was.
I think
the one bike.
I don't have like the frame itself wasn't the problem. I think it was just the one chainring in the front. I'm like, come on, guys, like
I know.
there's just don't limit what what you can use.
Yes. Yes.
Don't do it. Just don't do it. Unless you've got 20 gears on the back, don't do it.
Oh, big one by and Eddie. What was that big tall guy? I forget his name now. Connor. No.
Connor. Yeah, Connor Dunn.
Yeah, he was a big unit on that bike. Big 68
he was a big unit, all right.
centimeter frame. Yeah. No flex in that bracket.
I bet there was.
Oh, shit. Okay, enough bikes. One thing I remember, I couldn't find the photo. I was looking for it. I don't know if it was on Instagram or on. I saw it ages ago, and it was a photo of you in maybe might have been your Mini or it might have been a BMW, but your dog was in the car, and I think you drove back from a race one day. Is that right? Did you drive back from a Grand Tour or a stage race?
Was it just a picture of me in the front with?
Yeah, it was like the front on through the windscreen, and you and your dog.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, was that just a?
Yeah, no, that was just a static picture.
Oh.
No, that was static. That was in the old Mini, which technically, that BMW do own Mini now, but it was pre BMW. I'm not one of those people.
Well, tell us about the Mini, because I'm interested. So I'll put the pictures up because I might put maybe just a segment on YouTube. But is it a Cooper, a Mini Cooper? Yeah,
Mini Cooper 98 Cooper S, as in 1998 Cooper S. We restored it, the motor and the interior. I think it was last year. Yeah, about early last year we restored it. I had a funny story actually on that car. We used to drive it up and down from Girona to Andorra, and obviously one day it was really hot and it just kept going to the red, the motor temperature. I'm like, and my wife was driving it. She's like, there's something wrong. So she stopped and I was in the car behind. I said, listen, let me drive it. If I blow it up, at least it's me. Right. Yeah. At least it's me. Right. So she's like, okay, you could drive. What we were doing each year was taking it, because you have to take it over the pits each year. And we're taking it to the mechanic. And the first year we said, listen, can you just, because obviously we're not Catalan and there's a few things that are gray area that they allow if you're Catalan, but if you're not, sometimes depends who you get.
Right.
So this mechanic he just takes it over the pits, gave it a service the first year, sweet, done. So we gave it to him each year to do it, but we didn't tell him. Obviously, we just thought that, okay, same deal as last year, service as well. So for 3 years, we didn't get it serviced, which meant that for probably about a year and a half, maybe 2 of those years, it was running with no oil.
Oh, no.
0 oil.
Just dry the bones.
Still ran like a gem though. I was like, I'd hit 160, 170. If any boys are listening, in the Mini. No oil. And that day actually, I was doing it because it's these big dippers into big climbs, and I'm thinking, I don't want to push it up the hill, but obviously it's not air, it's air cooled, it's not water cooled. So if I can just get it up to speed on the downhill and let it run into the uphill as fast as possible, at the top I'll be doing 100k an hour and not have to push it. Yeah. So I was on 160, 170 on these straight downhills, and obviously no power steering, these little 13-inch rims, like tiny wheels. As I'm thinking, wow, we got it there.
Yeah.
But now I think about, like, Jesus, that motor's, they did well with it. It's building impressive. That motor pretty well.
Yeah.
Impressive.
No oil. Wow. That's pretty cool.
The dipstick was dry. Like, I mean, nothing in it.
That's so cool, but what a neat little car though. They've really got character, right?
Oh, I love them. The new ones, look, I'm more of a fan of the old ones than the new ones, but I think that's with a lot of old cars. There's a bit more character than new ones, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Yeah. All right. I've got some questions here. All right. These are some quick fire ones. Okay. Now I just wrote these as I was at work today.
You work?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do. I do work. Surprised what everyone thinks. How do I get these podcasts done? This is a nice time to do it. But okay, in your musette during the race, Mars bar or Snickers? What are you choosing?
Snickers.
Okay. Now you've got to choose one of these TT helmets. Now I've created these three. You can choose from either, at the cricket when people hollow out the watermelons. Yep. So you've got to choose the hollowed out watermelon, the KFC bucket hat from the 2020, or the 2012 Rudy Project The Wing TT helmet. You can choose any for the world's TT.
I'd go to bucket.
I feel bad for the watermelon, man.
No, the watermelon would trip over your face. It'd be a major pain in the ass.
Yeah, depends on how you've hollowed it out. Because if you didn't get enough of the flesh out, the flies would get you at the cricket. They'd come for it.
Yeah, mate, it'd be real sucky. At least a bucket, it would get wet and then it would sag and maybe get better on aerodynamically. Maybe.
Yeah, I guess so. Some sort of aerofoil at the back. Well, yeah.
It's not really saying much for Rudy Project either, is it?
No, it's not. The wing, the mighty wing. It was 2012 though. This is that liquid gas Cannondale spec is that particular year. They may have improved, maybe not. Right. Okay, for the rest of your life, dessert or breakfast?
At what time of day?
Well, all meals.
All meals?
Yeah, so 4 desserts, 4 breakfasts, whichever.
Dessert.
What would be one of the meals?
Chocolate coulant.
A what? A chocolate
coulant, or like a lava cake, we call it in Oz.
Oh, mate, lava cake coulant sounds... That is nice.
Coulant is the fancy pants French European name.
Excellent. So coulant. when I get Alpha Leap on, I'll coulant. Love that.
And you can always have a breakfast that is a dessert. You haven't thought about that, have you? Chocolate croissant.
Yeah. Okay. I guess so. Croissants, though, I feel like there's not enough to them, because they melt.
But it's chocolate croissant, which means it's a dessert, but you can have it for breakfast as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So I just found a real good loophole in your question.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. Well, I had a question from my young junior, Mr. Campbell McDowell, but he hasn't sent his little voice request in. So I'm going to move on to my other one. What are your thoughts? And we have talked about this before briefly on chat, but we chatted before about the World's TT, which I can't wait to go. I'm going to be there live every day. It's going to be sweet. And many Australians are. It's going to be so cool having a home Worlds. But was it 37 corners in the time trial? And the length much shorter than your traditional ones, certainly much shorter than the 2 that you won in the World Champs, 55Ks plus or 50Ks plus. What changes when a course has that many corners?
Essentially it's a corner, more than a corner a kilometre. It's 34.5 Ks, I think. Mm-hmm. It makes it better for someone who's punchy. But also those 34 corners, I haven't looked at it too in depth, but some of them, when you're actually on the course, might not be corners. It just might be a bend. So you'd have to really look at what ones you can't pedal through and what comes after them. A bit like in Yorkshire, there was a lot of corners that there was probably technically 100 corners if you really look at it.
Yeah.
But a lot of them you could just go full gas through, no problems. But then there was some that you really had to carry speed through, and if there was a hill after it, then it would really mess up your sort of TT if you stuff the corner. So brings a technicality side of it into it more than just a pure time trialer.
So it takes out of, does it take the I guess how much the aerodynamics influence the event this time?
A little bit, yeah. And I think I've spoken about it. I'm not sure how much of it's been published, but I think it's a shame that it is actually not somewhere around that 50K, or at least close to that. Like at least make it. It's not that it's not going to be challenging. Every TT is challenging. You can get a 6, 7, 8K TT and you'll be absolutely finished at the end of it. But I think to find out the real world champion, the real best that year or the best at that in that period of time, you need to start using ones that are around the 50K. It changes it. There's more to it with strategy in pacing. It evens the playing field for bigger versus smaller guys. So the raw power isn't such a big factor in someone who wins. It's the all-round time trialer that wins, not just the. And I'm not taking. Obviously, people can take this the wrong way and say Garner just got the last two given to him, which is not the case.
No, we know
that. But it does bring another element to the TT that I think is a positive, and it makes it an all-round time trialer that actually is won, not just an absolute powerhouse that bloody Garner and Wout actually are. To be honest with you.
They're huge,
So
just like Ron, just like Grand Tours, people that win the Grand Tours are often viewed as the best cyclist in the world. And it's not the person who wins the Tour Romandie every year, or Simon Spivak style 1 week racer who wins that every year or always does well. It's the Grand Tours. It's 3 weeks. It's a massive stretch and test of multiple multi-disciplines inside, that whole thing. So I'm certainly with you on that. It's much more.
I do think that there is a place for a shorter TT. Like in Bergen, it was 37 Ks, but it was, I think, 700 meters of climb.
It was hilly,
So it makes it harder and longer through that, in a sense.
The duration.
But I still think, I think it still needs to be. That was a one-off. It wasn't every year, because then you'd find that climbers become the best time trialers, and you're like, well, that's not actually the way it is, guys. I just think that the distance was a bit of a disappointment, to be honest with you.
No, got it. That's good. Thanks for your answer, because it's everyone just thinks, oh, cool, that's the distance. Everyone's happy with it, because not everyone's happy with it. But in terms of spectatorship, it's going to be great to watch it in the, because it goes to the sort of the town area. That's going to be wild. You'll be able to see so much of the course,
and 2 laps, I think, as well. So it's not just see them once and see you later.
It's going to be so good for viewing. Can't wait. So, But, Rohan, that's it, mate. I don't want to take up more of your time, even though I could easily talk for moons. Many moons.
Memes would be great.
We didn't cover any memes, but actually, before I do go, I was just browsing Twitter before, and it looks like Wellens is going to leave Lotto for someone. But I found for UAE maybe, but I found Rohan Dennis on Twitter. This just came from my feed. It's not you, but someone has superimposed your face on what looks like maybe a Game of Thrones character. I'm not, there you go, with the radars.
Yep.
Is that you and Troy from that's you, mate?
It's definitely me, and it's someone else's body.
Fabian or Cipollini, maybe circa when he was at Rome, BC.
Whoever it is, they've got a great head of hair. That's about it. And an amazing face on them. Look at the face. How amazing is it?
Well, good choice of lenses. I mean, I'm more of a Smith Optics man, just saying, but the radars are very practical sunglass. I reckon they're red and they're white. So I'm saying they're circa BMC, maybe when you won an uphill finish. It was a little sprint. Do you remember that win? Uphill finish, maybe Tour of Swiss or something, Tour of Romandie.
I think
it was just uphill kick. You won it. It was road stage.
There's either one with Garmin in 2014, or you're thinking of Bristol in Britain in 2016.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
you're definitely in red. You're the color red.
But I think that's a picture of me just pulling a face, being an idiot.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I don't know if it's me.
Yes.
I don't think that's from the.
No.
Yeah.
I know that. I was just trying to pick the glasses, and so I love a good meme, mate. But anyway, I know you do too. Yeah. Well, thank you. I got hair, by the way. Just wearing my attacker beanie.
That's the Where's Wally beanie, but not in the.
No, this is attacker.
Not in the patterns.
This is without the patterns. Yeah. I'm just matching my couch. See. Hang on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can blend in, mate.
But complete the look. Yes. So season 3, this is what this will be on. It'll be July. So this episode will come out in July. So be stoked, mate. And you're be stoked. So thanks a lot. That was really good, bro.
No, my pleasure. Absolutely. My pleasure.
Well,
good chat.
It was good chat. Good luck for Swiss. And come Worlds, mate, I'm going to be there. Everyone's going to be wearing press room stuff. It's going to go wild. I'm going to be screaming for you, mate, in those circuits.
I'm going to make the team first, but yeah.
If you then make the team, that's right. All right, bro.
I'm gonna show my cards before I make the team.
Yeah.
Let's get through commies first.
Get through commies.
I've still got it. Yeah.
You still got it, mate. You still got it.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Rohan.
All good.
Take care,
bro.
bro.
Appreciate it. You too. Bye.